Casey, let's see here. Last time we talked, we were just talking, it was July, mid-July.
Mid-July.
And then you were going to have your gender affirming surgery in a couple days.
Right.
So let's start there. How did the surgery go?
Well, we went in and had surgery, and supposedly successfully, but it turns out that in the making the taking the tissue from the insides of the body to extend the urinary tract, the urinary tube, whatever you call that. And once they drilled the hole through the penis to get the tract through, apparently they used scar tissue, so it blew out, and so they get what you call a fissure right behind the scrotum, and sometimes they can fix it and sometimes not. In my case, not. So I still got squatter's rights, but that'd make me happy, no. But for what was accomplished was what I was expecting, hoping for. Other than not being able to write my name in the snow, that's okay, I just be Eileen for a minute, I'll get my name in the snow, but that's not the important part. The important part is to feel like a normal human being, and not have any defects, and that's where I'm at now. I'm happily at my spot in life with myself. Before that, I had a behavior or attitude. My buddy Beaver, he says he gave it a name. It's called rage, and so rage lived with me a long time. And right now, today, all the people that knew me through the kin growing up, my family and whatnot, a lot of them probably only know who rage is, and they really have no real mind at all about who I really am. And so this calm, collected guy that doesn't have any rage anymore, at first they're not going to believe it, and along with that, they're going to be in awe, how can this guy be this way, But at my childhood, I was that way when I be by myself. More time by myself was better. I didn't have to deal with anybody's thoughts, ideas, emotions, rules, regulations, or whatever ideas. I just do what I want to do, and I don't have anybody to answer to, anybody to worry about, anybody to complain about, nothing. And I'm happier that way. And so when I first had surgery and went to the doc, and he told me it was broken, I asked him if he could fix it. He said no. And so within a thousandth of a second, rage showed up, and I just threw my hat straight across the room and said, "Fuck!" And he vamoosed. So for the next few visits after surgery, watching how we're healing, he wouldn't come in first. He'd send somebody in, check my mood. And that made me think about how people respond to me and why, and so I use that as a memory to if something happens, getting mad about it or going off about it don't really do anything for it. You got a problem? Okay, what's the problem? What's the solution? Take the time to figure it out, and then do the best to make it right, and so that's what I'm doing. And I got this apartment, and I've never wanted to be in it. I've had somebody ask me, when did you want to move? I said the day I moved in. I didn't want to move in, and so I'm at that point where that's where I want to be, moving out. And I only have one more appointment with the doctors, and I want to talk to them. And if I have no need for you, and you have no need for me, then I don't see why we need to communicate anymore. And days of the cowboys and Indians, they lived all right. A lot of them, they didn't have to see the doctor. They tend to themselves, And I've been to enough doctors and places. I tend to my own self. Find somebody, if I get cut or something, I can go find somebody to sew it up. But yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, those are some big moves and a big move's coming up. But so I'm curious, the gender affirming surgery, so once you had it, it wasn't like an immediate, I feel like myself, or was it?
No, it was.
It was. Tell me more about that.
Well, as soon as I came out of surgery, when I came to, how you say, I had all this cotton bandages and stuff, you know, and then when they come to change the bandages the first time, what I saw was a little bit different, because the doctor said, you know, he blew a hole in my pisser, but you know, he said he wanted to make my stuff fatter. And well, I didn't ask for fatter. I just asked to remove it from its pinned down state and run a hole through it and get, you know, make it work right. And so he did what he decided to do instead of what I asked for. So what I have is what you know, a little bit of my decision, a little bit of his, and it turns out it's satisfactory to my liking.
So it's kind of a compromise.
Yeah.
In a sense. But I guess it's like, do you feel inside like this is who I've always wanted to be?
Yeah.
How old are you again, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll be 67 in June.
And so, you know, you got the surgery when you just turned 67 about last year.
66. Yeah.
66, and so you waited a long time.
Yeah, right after I turned 66. I turned 66 in June, and they fixed my stuff in July.
But it took, you know, 66 years to be
yourself.
60,
I got it when I was 66, and it took 66 minus 5. You want to go from there.
Right, a long time for you to really.
Yeah, and then, you know, when I did find out what the problem was and how to fix it, that was 1979. So. And, you know, that was a hard time too, because then they started telling me if I wanted to find my answers and get fixed. The first place my wife took me to was it's called a gender dysphoria place.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't know what that was. It was down there by the Deluxe 2 off of University Village. And we went in there, and it was kind of a weird deal. My wife knew what them words meant. She said, let's go in here and talk to this guy, these people. And we went in there, and this guy said he wanted to film me. Did I mind? I said, I don't mind. Go for whatever you think you got to do. I just want to ask you a question about this room here, this office you're running, what's it about? And so I had to sit in a chair, and you got a camera sticking out the wall, and he starts asking me questions, and pretty soon he's wanting to hear stuff about me. He wants to know about me. Well, I didn't come here for you to know about me. I come here to know about what do you do? You know, what is your operation about? And so we got in an argument. And I told him to take his fucking camera and shove it up his ass, you know. Either take the camera out of the wall and eat it, or I'll just take your head and put it in the wall with the camera. I don't know which one you want, but I'm out of here. I'm done with you. And so we left. But so with that information, my wife got some other information. In the meantime, I was on probation, and I was living on 39th and Aurora, and there was a place next door, and somebody said the probation officer in there would be able to help me. So I went in there and talked to him, and it turns out it was a man that was either having surgery or had surgery to be a woman. This is my first introduction to this answer to my question. And so she told me to go meet her at this place on what's that street goes over downtown? Madison, 18th and Madison. And so I went there to this building and went into a room, and a whole bunch of guy-looking girls was in there, and they're transsexuals, transgenders, trans people like that.
And this is the first time you were introduced to
No,
that
that's
culture?
not the first time I was
Okay.
introduced to them kind of folks, but
Okay.
that's the first one I met there about my answer.
That was having surgery.
Because at first my wife was telling me I had to go to AA because I get caught drinking a beer somewhere, and then automatically you're drunk and you got to go to AA and treatment and all this. A lot of people going in them places that had no business being there. But my wife was telling me to go to gay AA and talk to them, and well, I tried that too, and them people just didn't take a catering to me, so I didn't take a catering to them and didn't just quit going there. So then that's this probation place. This woman here tells me come meet her there, so I met her there. Then she told me to come meet her at her place, come over to her place with her, and I'm like, well, okay. So we went over to her place and we got in there, and she had this mirror thing or something. It's a standing flip long mirror. You flip it around. Anyway, she stand behind that and got a little bit undressed, and she said, my feet hurt. She said, I need you to massage my feet. And I'm like, well, all right, I'm just trying to get an answer. If your feet hurt, we'll fix your feet and then maybe give me my answer. Well, her feet stunk real bad, terribly bad, and I had to just pretend it didn't. And so she had nylons on. I can't handle this touching nylons. It's terrible. So I massaged her feet, and she said she had a 38, pistols. So she told me I mind my business. And so she got laying on this bed, and she got the 38 in her back, and I'm standing at the foot of the bed massaging these feet. And
Staring at a gun?
she had a gun, yeah.
And how are you feeling at this point?
I'm not real good. I'd rather have the gun pointed at me than put the shoes back on. But yeah, I just dealt with it. And then she told me that the problem is your pituitary gland's messed up. So what you need to do is go have your pituitary gland checked, and you probably won't need surgery at all. You just will start wearing a dress and be happy. And I said, well, I don't think so. And this conversation came about, after 4 times of massaging her feet. And the problem with that was, I gave it up too, but it cost me, I had to pay her $40 every time I massaged her feet. I didn't understand that part, but so I just wasn't getting any answers. She was just getting her feet massaged, wasting my time. So I didn't go back to that one. And then my wife come up with an address for somebody, a doctor in Palo Alto, California. And so I wrote them a letter and tell them that my genitalia is messed up. I need to get it fixed. What kind of doctors fix that? Could fix that. And so they sent me back a pamphlet and said fill out all these forms, and surgery's about $30,000 without complications, $50,000 with. Well, at that time I had just been with my brother, and my brother, y'all, is not my brother. He's not my blood, but he's a person that I met up with and ended up hanging out with him and his family more than mine. And we just worked on cars a lot, and it was a lot of fun. And then, things went south on that, and me and him don't see eye to eye no more. But anyways, we had a situation where he come across a Rolex watch. And the Rolex watch was it's called a oyster or a pearl. Anyways, they were $6,000 at that time, and a presidential Rolex, whatever that big one is, was $30,000. And at that time, you could find a house for $30,000. And so I'm thinking to myself, in my situation right now, I had 3 choices. If I was going to buy something, for what I would need. Do I want surgery? Do I want a watch or a house? I can have either one. They all cost the same, and I ain't gonna have none because I don't have $30,000. $50,000, well, we just forget it altogether. So, when I wrote them a letter, they sent me back that information and stuff. So then I wrote the doctor's office to ask them, is there a way to do this? Make this work out. If I were to try, you got a payment plan or something, $10 a month, something for the rest of my life. Anyways, it took them a year to write me back. So then My wife had a trip that we took to. She went to San Francisco, snuck me along with, and so when we got to Frisco, she said Palo Alto's 30 miles away, so we could just go there, talk to the doctors, you know. I think I mentioned that, and so she said, all right. So we went there. We walked in, and this Judy Van Dam, whatever she was, she was somebody that, you know, had surgery, the whole thing, you know. A woman looked like a man, you know. It's harder for them to pass themselves, how you say. I guess, I don't know. More power to y'all, you know, good luck in life and hope you're happy, but, you know, I'm good. And so I walked in there and asked, could I see the doctor, Donna Lamb, the surgeon, and she said, well, he's on vacation right now, and if you come back in 2 weeks, you can see him. And I was like, yeah, all right. She said, well, I hope you didn't just come 1,300 miles just to see the doctor. I said, no, I didn't, but I did. And so there went that. And then my kid was getting ready to move out at that time, and we were at that point taking her to the, how you say, Medina, some office where they talk to you about what's up. And so when I went there, was going there to deal with the kid's situation, getting her where she wanted to be. The woman found out about the stuff I got from the place. They got little booklets to tell you stuff and information. And so it cost $20 to get the kit, you know, of information. And it was only $20. I sent 40 because I wanted somebody that couldn't afford it to be able to get one. So that's why it cost me $40. But so she wanted to look at it and give it back. So I gave it to her to look at. She never gave it back. So I probably started drinking then and stuff a little bit in and out, and you know, not really caring much. And well, I didn't do the drink until after the kid left. But yeah, so that was a dead time trying to figure it out, and fuck it, you know, this ain't happening. You know, I contemplate, you know, go be off by myself, and didn't really
let go of that.
Yeah, I didn't want to commit suicide anymore. I was committing suicide, trying to figure out the best way to do it. You know, I don't want you to find my body. I don't want you to have to deal with it. You know, anybody I know, anybody, strangers even.
Well, just so I'm clear, so this surgery, like you kind of closed the door on that and thought you wanted to
but see,
leave
before with the kid, I was killing myself. And when the kid come along, I wasn't expecting that. And so she was up for adoption the day she fell out. Because now I'm going, because you're not stopping me from what I want to do. I'm done living, 18, 20 years old. I'm done. I'm not going to live my life like this. Fuck that. You go with somebody else. There's other people, they want babies. Go get one. It's right here. Have it. And when that went sour, I kept the kid for 3 years. And at 2, she decided she's moving out. And so I lived that long. And after that was done, and then the surgery thing, I was again contemplating the suicide, which is figure out how to get up to the mountain and just keep climbing and just, you know, do it up there, let the animals take care of it. And somewhere along the line, I get pissed off, and you know, I deserve a fucking life, and I'm gonna have it, and I don't know how. So I just figure out to be by myself, and people keep running into me and keep telling me what I should and shouldn't ought to do, and that's where I'm at now with this fucking apartment. They tell me you ought to have this apartment. Oh, you can't live in a truck. Nobody lives in a truck, you know. You know, yeah.
Rage showing up again?
That would be rage, you know, with all that, because it's you're dissatisfying me. You're messing up my ideas. And so with this surgery, after that happened, it's like I don't want to kill myself. I deserve a life, but I don't want to live in an apartment. You know, all my life I've been told stay out of the kitchen, get out, don't clean up the house. You don't know how, you just mess it up. I'll clean the house. Don't touch my stuff. Don't move this. Don't do that. And you sit here and wipe your feet and take your shoes off. I don't want you to take your shoes off when you come in my house. Your fucking feet might stink. I don't want you to keep the goddamn shoes on. You stepped in dog shit? Well, good. I'd rather smell that on your feet. But yeah, I just can't do all that stuff, and I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to sit around. I get company. What do you do with company? They just sit around, you know, and do it, you know, having a good time, whatever they're doing. But I don't want to be sitting around. I want to be outside. Like I get to get to do tomorrow. Go be working in the garden, doing some stuff. But you got me trapped in a goddamn house with a bunch of dishes and furniture and clothes and doing laundry, and I'm not up for it, man. I'm not interested.
But you're moving.
Yeah, I'm moving.
Let's talk about how that happened.
Well, what I'm doing is I wanted to get out of the apartment. I've been trying to figure out the way out for a long time, and so this end of this month I was planning to just take off, and I got to deal with my doctors and stuff, and then I got a contact from somebody, and I have an opportunity now to go live in the woods, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to say any more on that, but I filled out my paperwork on my apartment. It said, why do you want to move? Well, because I can. And it says something else about that, and I said, because I choose to. And then it says, what's your forwarding address? Well, right now, at this time, there isn't one. And what I'm doing right now is I'm disappearing. So that means I'm not into contacting anybody unless I want to, and nobody's going to be contacting me, even if they want to. You don't know where I'm at. You don't know what I'm doing. You don't know where I'm going to be. And I'll tell you where I'm going to be. I'm going to be in the woods. Look it up in the dictionary and see what wood means. And then put an S on it. Look at that one. And then you're going to see where I live. I'm not being around people. I'm not being around society. I don't want to be around the system. I'm cutting y'all out of my life. See, I'm going to do what I want to do. I want to live my life and enjoy life. I spent 30 years at bay with my mother, keep me from everybody. I spent 30 years installment plan in prison. I've met so many people that they say, stay in touch. If I stayed in touch with everybody all the time, what they want me to stay in touch all the time, I might as well give me a chair and a telephone and some computer thing for you to look on that thing and just stay there and be talking to people all day. Not happening. Nope. Go talk to yourself.
Without going into detail at all,
yeah,
too much detail, and we can cut this part out too, but this opportunity unveiled itself from the first video that we did. Someone saw that.
Yeah.
And this opportunity came
yeah.
because of that.
Yeah, this video, there was a bunch of lies about me, and there's a lot of people that I've met through the years, and there's some who have figured out what the truth is, and now they want to apologize to me for the misunderstanding, and be connected. Stay connected. And here comes a train. I love trains. Give me a train in the woods near the water. Get a fish. There it is. But right now in my life, I've had some family that I always counted on, and it turns out that they were never accountable, and so right now it'd be good if family would make a time for us that would be good, and supposedly that's always possible, and supposedly that could happen and would happen, and so I take the chance and give them that chance, and then if it don't work out, I'm on my way. God wants me to to go to Wyoming. You know, he's put it on my heart to go there. And so surgery's done, you know. Pete's still hanging out with me, you know, but you know, I don't have to worry about him crying down my leg or nothing, so we're all right there. But
Who's Pete?
Pete, that's Pete. That's my Peter. A little too short to be Peter, but that's all right. We're satisfied with Pete. That's good.
Gotcha.
And so my plan is to just live a free, happy life for myself, to do the things that I want to do. You know, tomorrow I get to work in the garden. That's what I want to do. I have an opportunity to help build a deck. I have an opportunity to help landscape a property. I have an opportunity to hang out with the animals. I have an opportunity to share the love of family. And if that don't work, if it's for some reason that fails, or I have to leave it, let it go if I get it, that's okay too, you know. Like I tell people, you know, God's already made the plan. You know, my life is one journey of many adventures, and I'll find many experiences that way, as well as get experience. And whatever the next plan is, that's what I'm showing up for, you know. And somebody say, well, why don't you just stay and keep your apartment? Well, I've never wanted to be in it to begin with. You know, I wanted to go on my truck and travel. You know, where I get tired, I pull over and go to sleep. Wherever I wake up, if I want to hang out a bit, I will. If I don't, if I want to go somewhere else, I will. But I don't have to worry about getting up in somebody's house and wondering if I'm getting to the coffee pot before them, or if I'm going to the bathroom and they really needed it first. And I don't want on them problems. I don't. And so it's possible that I could have a future, you know, of good life, and it's been offered several different ways, several different people, and so today I'm listening to some people that want to have a better day in the life for me, and so I'm going to give them that chance. And you know, if it turns out that it's best, you know, I just keep moving, well, you know, I'm on my way to Wyoming, and today I'm not there, you know, and I won't be there tomorrow, but
It's a step.
that's my next destination.
Yeah. And I hear you're taking a calculated risk.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
And great. And I hear I don't know if it's going to work out, but it's worth trying.
Yeah. I wanted a dog, and I wanted to know what was the best way, and I ended up being forced to adopt a dog in a sense, and I had him for 19 days, and you know, I learned everything about him that I could, and gave him a good rapport. I had to give him back. You know, in that 19 days, you know, the tightness and the thoroughness that we had of a companionship and a friendship, when I had to release him, that was hard. You know, I did the same with my kid. I didn't want to release the kid either. You know, I was having a good time, but again, you know, it wasn't meant to be. I was just there for that moment to get them through their next destination. You know, get them through that time before they get to their next spot. And so now I got another dog, you know, and the same ride's true. You know, if for some reason I got to let her go, that's what I have to do, you know. And that's a possibility too. But you know, I've had her for I don't know how many weeks now. I've had her since she was 5 weeks old. The day before she turned 5, she was born January 30th. And you know, if I have to cut her loose, I would. We've never been apart, you know. And now she's been away from me now since Friday.
To be clear, she's already at this destination that you're going to.
Yeah, she's already where I'm heading. You know, my next destination in my journey forward. And you know, I miss her a lot, but at the same time, the situation is not in my control right now. If there's something happened to her right now, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not within reach. If I lose her, that would be just another situation in life that is an experience that I would have to figure out how I'm going to get through that. And I can sit down and be miserable for the rest of my life over it, or I can say, well, that was an experience I had, and now I'll move on, but see what the next one is.
Today's Tuesday, and you're leaving Friday.
Yeah.
And you're going to see your dog Friday.
I am.
Right on. I got a question that kind of came to me. Casey, you've had a lot of life experience. I don't know. I guess the question is there anything that you'd want to say to the younger trans people or people that are going through what you've been through, or just in that culture, community, or anything like that?
Yeah, there's only one thing that's real important that I don't see anybody really paying attention to. They're not getting it. They're not thinking about it. And so here's somebody that says, I'm going to change my name. I met someone in prison, they said this. They said, I'm changing my name tomorrow. And if people don't call me by my name, I'm not talking to them. I'm not going to have nothing to do with them. And so what happens there is, if you change the way you want to be and you want to tell somebody else about it, you can't tell them after you've done it and expect them to be on board. Because yesterday they knew what they knew, and today it's going to be different. They need time to adjust to that, get used to that. And what you're all not doing is giving them time to adjust to that. You're demanding that, hey, this is who I am, acknowledge that, respect that, treat me like that. And it's not going to happen. Not going to happen any faster than it happened for you when you first woke up and decided you wanted to change how you are. Maybe you said this is who you are and people's not buying it, and today you're going to show them who you are. Well, that's okay. But in your showing them, remember they're seeing, okay? They're seeing, okay? And eventually they'll acknowledge. They're not going to acknowledge what they see that moment. And when you expect that and it don't happen and your little feelings are hurt, man, open up your mind, man, and figure out what you're really doing. They need time to figure it out. You know, you went to the doctor, you went to your friend, you went to whoever, and you said, hey, man, this ain't who I am, this is who I am. And they say, okay, well, talk to your people and explain it to them, and then maybe they can help you along with everybody else. But if you're not talking and explaining it to them, they don't know what you're doing, and they're frustrated because they can't get it right away, and they're feeling they're doing something wrong. No, they're not doing nothing wrong. You are. Explain yourself politely. God, nobody owes you acknowledgement, man. That guy walking down the street, he has no reason to turn around and say, hi, how you doing there? He's probably thinking about what he forgot the eggs last time he went to the store. He's thinking about eggs. He didn't even see you. You know, nobody owes you acknowledgement. Nobody owes you conversation. Nobody owes you the time of day. No, you don't owe anybody either. You get it when you get it. You ask for it. If you don't got it. Keep going. Knock on someone's door. Not now. No more words are said. Just go. Bye-bye. Not, are you sure right now? Are you okay? No, they didn't ask you because they said not now. Not. That's the key word right there. Not. Now tells you when. Now is right now. You knock on the door, go away. Turn around and go away. There's nothing to be said. Leave them alone. And you'll get a better response later if you do that. But you know, and if they're killing themselves and you walk away and they kill themselves, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Just realize that you did what they wanted you to do, and maybe you can take the time to figure out why they did it, if they did it, and maybe you can just not think about it and just be glad for the time you knew them, and sorry that it went that way, and move on. You know, you've got a whole life ahead of you. It's not rude to keep going. Okay, just remember them. Don't talk bad about them, and you know, unless you have to, you know, do what you do. But don't let situations claim your destination. Okay, don't do it. If you're transgender and all that kind of stuff, be about it. Explain it. Teach somebody what the problem is. Teach somebody what you're doing. Oh, my train again. Yeah. So on that note about what I just said, what I did is I believed in myself. I knew who I was, what I wanted in life, and people told me that that's not true, and that I needed to do all these different things they wanted me to do. And so I did a lot of things they wanted me to do, but I also stayed true to myself and stayed solid in my vow that I know who I am and that's what I'm going to do. And I don't care what you say, what you want me to do, it's not going to change my mind. And I stayed true to myself, and I've got now at 67. Next month away, I will be complete and free in my life to do as I want, and now enjoy my life. Okay, I would have loved to do that when I was 20 or maybe even 30. Would have been not too late, but at 67, it's not too late. I can now enjoy my life, and I'm going to let people know. I don't like food. I don't like money. I don't like to hang out and have conversation with people. I don't like to hang out with people. I don't like to go to grocery stores. I just don't like to do anything like that. I like to be out walking. I hung out at the market, the Seattle Center, Green Lake. These are places I like to go, things that I enjoy. And I like to do things with my hands. I like to work. I like to work with the earth. I like to work with the wood, painting houses, cleaning houses, and I'm talking about scrubbing the outside before you paint it. I can do your wash your walls and that kind of stuff, and do windows too, but I'm not hanging out. While I'm doing your window, don't ask me. We don't sit down and have a coffee and a piece of pie. No, I don't. I will come here to work. I didn't come here to eat. And so when I say those things, that's what I mean. I'm telling you about me. Buy it. Don't tell me, "Are you sure? What wouldn't you like to do?" I didn't ask you your opinion of what I'd like to do. I was telling you what I like to do. If you was listening, you would have heard that. When I tell you who I am, what I'm about, that's what I'm telling you. If you don't buy that, then you're really not listening. You don't have to buy it, but if you're not listening, if you start telling me what you think I should have, maybe would have rather have done. I'm not having a conversation about what I like to do or not like to do. I'm just telling you about what I do and what I like, and that's it. There's no more conversation about it. I don't like pickles. So, you sure you don't like them fried? How about if I don't like pickles? Why are you talking to me about pickles? We should be talking about something else now. And so when you're going to be a transgender person or whatever, and you have to go through solution, the time of the solution, all these things you got to go through, you got to let people know about it. Let them teach them so they understand. And then they can say, wow, and also explain to others instead of being stupid. Well, I don't know, they decided there was a man under a woman, I don't know. Oh, they decided that they want to grow their hair all the way to their feet. I don't know, I guess it's going to drag on the ground. They expect you to get longer. If you'd have told them how you was doing it, what it was about, they would have understood. But you leave them in the lurch, and then what you got, So again, here it is, communication. That's what you got to have. Okay, and what did I say? I don't like to talk to people. Guess what? I don't want to communicate with you either. But if you ask me a question or stop me, or if I need to know something and I'm willing to, hey, can I talk to you a minute to find out something? That's what you do. It's communication. Without that, and understanding and realizing that opinions are opinions, not facts. They're helping you understand more about that person. When that person tells you they like something, maybe you want to get them a gift someday, you'll know what they like. If someone tells you they don't like something, now you know how to respectfully be around them by not putting that situation around them, whatever it is. You make me a hamburger and put pickles on it, well, then you just disrespected me if you know I don't like pickles. But, that's how it works.
Casey, thanks so much for sharing. I hope that in your new place in the woods, you find peace and happiness and just serenity there. Sounds like an awesome opportunity. I am glad you're taking the risk.
Yeah, y'all can't figure it all out a whole lot right now, and I understand that, and it's, you're correct. But maybe in the next video, because we're going to do some more. The next video, then you'll have an understanding.
Yeah, right on.
So wait patiently, and I'll be back.
Right on.
All right.
Thanks. Let's go get some pickles. Okay.